Dana here. We have done a video before that showed tips on how to keep your Onbuhimo carry high when you're putting on the carrier. And so, but I never really did a full Onbuhimo video, so that's what we're going to do right now. Kind of show from the beginning and any other little tips that I have for wearing your Onbuhimo. So we're going to use today this lovely Fennel Onbuhimo with, it's really pretty because it has green straps. So it's got a kind of sophisticated looking color palette. Okay, you ready, Ruby? Okay, so the way that I do it with Ruby is I have her stand in front of me facing away and stick her feet through the sides because she's a grown child. So she just sticks her legs through the sides forward. If your child is smaller, you can sit them down and have them help manipulate their legs through the sides and get everything situated how you like it to get them up either with a hip scoot or a Superman. With the hip scoot, once you have them in there, you pull this up on your side and scoot you around. Make sure this is up in between you before you scoot a little bit. So it will help you a little bit. Okay, Ruby, you ready? Come here. Turn around. What, this side through? This side through, baby. Okay. And so now that I have she's slipping. Now that I have her legs through the sides, because I Superman Ruby, I start it underneath her arms, which is where you want the Onbuhimo panel to go, is about to the armpits, because it's designed to be worn arms out. And grabbing both the panel and the sides of her torso, I Superman her. So, woo! At this point, I always have to check to make sure that the straps are not caught underneath us. Kind of like you would if you're used to using Supermaning with a wrap, checking to make sure that the wrap itself is not underneath you. So I kind of pull it out, and then I'll stick my arm through. Whoop! So I've got the arm through on that side, arm through on this side. Now, you can tell that her leg is totally straight. She's not in the panel at all. When I go to make the seat, I reach up in between and I push the panel over to the side, because it's not that she's not center, it's that the panel has bunched all the way over to one side in the way that she moved her legs. So I push it over and I feel on her knees to make sure that I've somewhat got the panel centered.
Get your arms out of me.
I'm going to tuck up the seat in between us, and then I'll move my arms. Okay, Ruby?
No.
Okay, I'm going to fix it now. So that went on a little longer than we usually do it on our own. Well, so when I tighten, I keep the strap pulled like this, and I'm pulling back in the direction of the webbing.
The ball pulling is too comfy.
I pull back in the direction of the webbing. This one has actually lost its, the panel's not flipped. So if you have them correctly with like a half twist, you can see that the webbing is laying completely flat as it comes around to my shoulder. This is something that you can check before you put your Onbuhimo on. There should be a half twist in there. It shouldn't look, when you lay it down straight and flip it up, like the strap's just going straight up to the panel. If it does, then you're going to have a twist right here on your side, and it's not going to be comfortable. You're going to feel that. If you fix it so that it has a half twist, what you can do is you fold it up and take a look and see that if the panel is laying on your back, it's going to come around your body flat into the strap.
Oh, no.
And then you buckle your chest clip.
I want to touch the ceiling.
You want to touch the ceiling?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll work on that for next time. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Are you comfy?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So you can see that Ruby is pretty large in the panel here, but it does get wider at the bottom. So from the outside, it looks like her legs are less supported than they actually are. I would love if there was a slightly larger size now that she's growing and growing, but it still works really well, and her legs are still really well supported. You can see that, you know, they're not dangling or anything like that. She's about how she is in any other carry that I would do. And yeah, that's the Onbuhimo. If you don't get it nice and high and you have a big kid on your back and your shoulders are either slightly rounded forward like mine or broad from the back to the front, you're not going to be able to get the chest clip in a comfy place on this particular Onbuhimo because this is as far down as it goes. And that will help with any Onbuhimo. Also, you can see that with the panel basically in line close to my shoulders, Ruby's torso, as it sticks out of the top, has lots of room. If you start tightening in a standing position with your child further down your back, you're just going to be pulling the panel into their body and it's going to squish them. They're not going to be able to come up as much. So you must lean forward when you tighten if you're doing a lot of tightening in the beginning and making sure that the panel is already smoothed up in between you so it has a nice path to go straight up your back. And this will help keep your child from feeling squished while still allowing you to get it tight enough and high enough to be comfortable for a longer wear. The other thing is that if once she's up, I can do very minor adjustments by bouncing. That takes all the weight off of her and everything to let the webbing and everything move. But I can't do that for big adjustments. I think that's all of my Onbuhimo tips. You'll see that the panel is curved, so a smaller child with the panel up farther in between you will have a smaller width of the Onbuhimo panel between them, so it can grow. All right, we're going to see what Ruby wants and say goodbye. Bye.